Have you ever felt lonely in a room full of people? Have you ever gone through an entire day without feeling truly understood by anyone? Or perhaps you have experienced a period in life when the silence felt heavier than usual. Loneliness is one of the most misunderstood human experiences. Many people think loneliness simply means being alone, but that's not true. You can be surrounded by family, friends, co-workers and still feel deeply lonely. And you can spend time alone without feeling lonely at all. Loneliness isn't about the number of people around you. It's about the quality of connection you experience. What makes loneliness so powerful is that it doesn't just affect your emotions, it changes our thoughts, our decisions, our relationships, and even the way we see the world. Today we are going to explore why loneliness changes human behavior. We will explain its emotional effects, the social consequences it creates, and healthy ways to cope with it before it begins shaping your life in unhealthy ways. Let's begin. Loneliness is the gap between the connection you have and the connection you need. It's not physical isolation, it's emotional disconnection. Human beings are social creatures. For thousands of years, survival depends on belonging to a group. Being connected meant safety. Being isolated means danger. Because of this, our brain evolved to treat loneliness as an important signal. Just like hunger tells us we need food and thirst tells us we need water, loneliness tells us we need connection. The problem begins when loneliness becomes chronic, because then it starts influencing behaviors in ways many people don't realize. One of the first effects of loneliness is increased emotional sensitivity. When people feel disconnected, they become more alert to signs of rejection. A delayed text message feels personal. A short response feels cold. A cancelled plan feels devastating. The brain becomes hyper vigilant. It starts scanning for evidences that confirms feelings of isolation. Unfortunately, this often creates misunderstandings. Loneliness often changes the way people think. The longer loneliness lasts, the more likely people are to develop negative assumptions. They may start believing nobody cares about me. I don't matter to anyone. I will always be alone. These thoughts are fuel tree, but feelings are not always facts. Loneliness narrows perspective. It makes temporary situations feel permanent, and it can cause people to underestimate how much others actually value them. Many people associate loneliness with sadness, but another common effect is reduced motivation. When connection disappears, energy often decreases. Simple tasks feel harder, goal feels less meaningful, the future feels less exciting. This happens because human beings are deeply relational. Many of our dreams involve sharing experiences with others. Without meaningful connections, motivation can begin to fade. Ironically, loneliness can cause people to withdraw from others. You might think loneliness would automatically encourage connection, but that's not always what happens. When people feel hurt or rejected, they often protect themselves by pulling away. They stop reaching out. They decline invitations. They isolate themselves. The very thing they need becomes the thing they avoid, and the cycle continues. Not everyone responds to loneliness by withdrawing. Some respond by doing the opposite. They become desperate for approval. They overtext themselves. They ignore boundaries. They constantly seek reassurance. Loneliness can also make people vulnerable to unhealthy relationships. When someone is starving emotionally, almost any connection can feel valuable. Even toxic connection. Even one-sided relationship, even situations that don't serve their well-being. The fear of being alone can become stronger than the desire for healthy relationships. And that's when loneliness begins influencing major life decisions. Many people believe meaningful connections must happen instantly, but real relationships often grow slowly. Don't dismiss people simply because the connection isn't immediate. Friendships deepen over time. Trust develops through consistency. Meaningful relationships are often built, not discovered. One of the hardest but most effective solution is taking initiative. Loneliness often convinces people that nobody wants to hear from them. But that belief is frequently inaccurate. Send the message, make the call, accept the invitation. Connection often begins with small actions, and those actions matters. Healthy solitude and loneliness are not the same thing. The more comfortable you become with yourself, the less desperate you will feel for external connection. Spend time learning, creating, reflecting, growing. Develop interests that enrich your life independently. Because the strongest relationships often emerge when connection becomes a desire, not a necessity. Loneliness is not a sign of weakness, it's a human signal, a reminder that connection matters. But when loneliness becomes chronic, it can change behavior in powerful ways. It can alter how you think, we feel, and how we relate to others. The good news is that loneliness is not a life sentence. Connection can be rebuilt, relationships can be strengthened, and even the deepest periods of isolation can eventually become chapters rather than permanent realities. Thank you for watching, and I would love to hear from you. Have you ever experienced a time when loneliness changed the way you thought or behaved? And what helped you overcome it? Let me know in the comments below. Till then, take care. Bye bye.